Well, start with the game. It was an incredible night or afternoon, I guess you'd say. And I want to start just thanking our students and our band and the fans and the families of our players and coaches and all the recruits who came and supported the team and the staff. It was a championship environment, and it's what we need. It's what this team can feed off of, and you guys helped us win that game. The energy that was created in the stadium, that is what we talk about here. It's one pack, one goal. That's our mission statement, a united mission to win a championship. And we have unity on this team and on our campus. And now with the fan base, you guys make us a weapon. And, it's not about who we play. I want to make that very clear. It's about supporting our athletes and our coaches in a mission to make us special, and understanding that we have something that other people don't. We have a fan base that shows up, and to be not just there, but participate and make life really hard on the enemy. But, I think the impact is felt in recruiting. We had over 30 recruits that we've offered at that game. And so you played a huge part in that environment as well. And it wasn't just us. Basketball had recruits there. Men's and women's basketball had recruits there. There's wrestling people, and just, what you're doing for us. And if we can continue to do it, you're going to elevate us even more. So putting that out there, because I think it's really critical. The way the students got engaged with the music too, the hear them singing the songs, and it was awesome, man. And the whole thing, it was a lot of fun. So with the game itself, obviously you guys know CJ Clark is out for the year. Unfortunately, had kind of a freakish thing happen in practice, just planting and cutting, and so injured his knee, and heart goes out to CJ. He will have surgery this week and have a full recovery, and I know he'll work diligently to come back and be a great player for us. But that's 3 starters now that are out for the year on defense, and so I know our kids will play hard for them, the next man up. Obviously, you saw Corey Durden take a new role inside and really do something with it in the game. So proud of Corey. Jalen Scott's doing that for Peyton at will, Jaqueen at strong safety. So outside of those things, we came out of the game very healthy, so that was good. In the game, I thought offense and defense really played off of each other and helped each other at really critical times in the game, responded to what happened on the other side of the ball. Nobody flinched. Our special teams were really up and down. I think we flipped the field with our punt team. We covered punts really well. They had 0 yards return yardage in the game. So I was proud of the improvement there, with our Keon Lassane at one missile, Anthony Smith at the other. Drake Thomas had 2 tackles in the open field on our punt team. And so that was big. We won. We had 33 yards of field position, the hidden yardage, we call it. Trent, all touchbacks on his kickoffs again, two games in a row. And he's got to get better with his pin punts. We had 3 punts go into the end zone. It's something he can work on. Chris had a bad night, and Chris is the best field goal kicker I've been around. He's going to bounce back. The coaches and the players, we all have his back, and we believe in him, and he's going to come back and win a game for us. I know he will. When the season's over, he will definitely have something. You talk about a comeback story, but I believe in him, and I'm asking as a fan base that you do the same, to have his back, because he's a guy that's done nothing but make kicks here since he's been here. Our players didn't flinch. They found a way to win, and they were physical, and they played with heart, and they played with emotion, and we made the tough plays we had to make to win the game. And I think that's what made the difference in the end. Devin Carter's catch in the end zone from Devin was a great play. Emeka's catch, pinning that ball on his face mask, was a great play. The tip pick to Drake was a great play, and they were big for us to make those plays in key moments. From a negative standpoint, we took a step back in the penalty category with 11 penalties and 9 in the first half. I know both teams had a lot of things, because of the crowd noise, probably in the hype of the game, but we made that a closer game. than we needed to with the time of possession that we had, the way we were playing on defense on third down. The penalties is what kept them in it, and the missed field goals. And positive in that is we overcame it. And so super proud of the team for that. Offensively, to have 41 minutes of time of possession, we actually had 110 plays on offense. Because of the penalties, there was only 96 that were graded, but we were balanced. We used our tempo well. We wore them down. I thought our conditioning was fantastic on offense. Our offensive line made guys play 100 plays, and they were fresh. They were physical. They were really good. Devin Leary played a great game. His 4 touchdowns, his accuracy, getting rid of the football. He had 8 throwaways. All those could have been bad plays. He just got us to the next play. Played tough, and he played smart. He's well coached, and he's got great poise. The wide receiver and tight end rooms, I thought, were really physical on the perimeter. They battled for each other. They caught the ball well, and made some really tough plays. And I like what we're doing on the perimeter. There's a lot of things happening out there that probably go unnoticed, but a lot of different types of screens, a lot of RPOs, a lot of good motions and hiding things well, and being physical, getting in and out of our breaks. The running backs both played hard and were physical and protected the football. And I thought Ricky sparked this catching the football well too. I had some key catches there that moved the ball. The end of half and end of game drives that we had, both drives gave us a chance to score. And I think Dylan Parham, kind of the guy that doesn't get talked about. Man, you want to have fun watching a dude be physical, watch him at tight end. He is knocking people around. Number 28. Love watching what Dylan's doing. Negatives, just too many penalties. And some of that's on us. We tried to hide what we do because they're so good at getting signals from you and staring at your tendencies and knowing what you're in. We really wanted to keep them off balance. And at times, the clock became a problem with that. So we were able to adjust and get through it. On defense, we had 8 3-and-outs and a takeaway. We stopped the run. The only real run play they had all night was the scramble for 34 yards. But we rose up, when we fumbled the next series, we were 3-and-out on defense. When they scored to tie the game, the next series, we were 3-and-out on defense. And D-line, I thought, really battled, strained. Corey Durden played his butt off, and it's good to see Davin Van get a sack. Savion and Daniel Joseph, those 4 guys played most of the game in the 3 spots and really battled for us. We dominated on third down. The negatives on defense, the one scramble I mentioned, the penalties, I thought Tanner's taunting penalty was completely selfish and something he's got to take off of film. Got caught up in the moment, and he's got to be better than that. I think we can play better in the secondary. I think at times we tried to do more than we need to do. We just need to play with good technique and play the fundamentals that we coach. Wasn't horrible, but it could be a lot better. Special teams, like I said, our punt coverage was excellent. I thought the punt return from Thayer was really good, and a dumb penalty by a young guy in Udo got caught up in a moment with number 11 for them. And just reacted instead of being smart and mature, and he'll learn from that. Joe Shimko continues to do a great job. And so now we move on to Louisiana Tech, and, kind of an interesting team. They're scoring a lot of points. They really should be 4-0. They lost on the last play of the game to SMU on a pretty freak show ricochet play on a Hail Mary. And then they had a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter at Mississippi State and lost. And so a team that has a lot of talent, have transfers in there, receiver and running back that are helping them. And, you score 35 points a game, you're going to win a lot of games. Their quarterback, Austin Kendall, did not play against North Texas. We know Austin well as a Charlotte native and went to Oklahoma, and then we played against him up at West Virginia. And so he's, kind of a journeyman. Good football player, kid that we offered and liked a lot in high school. Don't know what his status is. They've kept that kind of on the down low, but we'll be ready for him and the other 2 that they played against North Texas. On defense, they've given up a lot. They play both 4 down and 3 down. They do play hard. They gave Mississippi State a lot of fits in their opening game. They play hard. It's a test of our maturities, bottom line. You know, people are going to talk about trap games and letdowns and all those kind of things. And, you know, I've already addressed that with the team. We're not going to do that. You know, this game's about being better than we were last week. And that's our goal, is to be a great football team, and great football teams don't step backwards. It's going to be a challenge. And I think for us, we have to show our maturity now and our leadership. And I know we will. I'm going to be all over them this week about it. And you know, we got to take personal responsibility in our daily excellence around here. And every day we got to try to be better than we were the day before. As great as that win was, and it was special. It can definitely be something that we have for the rest of our lives, but we want to win every game. And the next game is the one that you have to worry the most about. And this is the next game. And be very disappointed if we don't come out and play really good football. Questions?
Todd Gibson.
Yeah, Dave, there's probably a pretty good chance the school's going to be fine because of the fans running out on the field. I think in the past you've been outspoken a little bit about that. Just your thoughts on that, and just it seems like it's pretty crazy, but I'll let you talk about that if you could.
Yeah, I don't know what the fine would be, Todd, but it's worth it. You know, I thought it was awesome, and I'm sure there's a donor out there that will help us out if we need them to. But I thought it was a great environment. It was awesome for the kids, and that was a special moment at NC State. You know, if you don't allow people to celebrate in special moments, I don't know what we're doing.
David.
Yeah, I mean, in my limited time here, that's by far the happiest I've seen you in a post-game press conference. I mean, how late into the night did you party, and you know, when did you finally kind of come down from that win, if you have it all?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was accumulation of a lot of misery for me, you know, and definitely a team that has been in our crosshairs for a long time. They're a team that we respect and have played well against and not finished the job against. And so it meant a lot to get that win. It meant a lot to get it the way we did, because, man, when we lined up to kick the game winner, I'm like, this is redemption. Like, this is the exact thing that I wanted to have happen to win this thing. And then to go to overtime and then double overtime. I mean, how much adversity can a team have, you know? And so, yeah, it was just, man, surreal. And to have Sarah on the field with me after, and Luke and Connor, my sons, it was special. It was really special.
Jonas.
Coach, you talked about the last few weeks how the defense has had to adjust from one offense to another, from the air raid to the option to the spread to Clemson, and now the Louisiana Tech team just, you know, scores a lot of points. But also, you know, you got to prepare for a different offense and three different quarterbacks. How does that add a little extra stress to your defense this week? And but you said they handled everything well. Are you kind of concerned that it might add more stress?
Well, that's what it is. It's week to week. That's the challenge on defense, is adjusting to what you're going to defend. And they're good on offense. Their tailback, you know, was at App State, was a really good player for them there. They got a receiver from Tennessee. They got a slot that's lightning. The guy is really fast. And they got three different quarterbacks that on film are throwing it around. So, you know, it's going to be a challenge. Like I said, for 3.5 quarters, they got after Mississippi State. And so we all know we didn't play well against that team. And it's going to be a game we got to show up and play. And, you know, I've said this since the first week we started these interviews. It's not about who we play, it's how we play. And you say you want to be a team that is ranked. You say you want to be a team that has all these things. Well, you've got to play well every single week. And that's what we got to do now, is just move on.
Aaron.
Hey, Dave, you just sort of touched on this about the idea of you've got to keep playing well every single week. I know that you guys talk about your goals are in front of you when you're playing, even after a non-conference loss, about winning the conference. Does anything change in terms of how you guys look at the goal of like winning the Atlantic Division after you clear such a major hurdle that is something y'all haven't been able to do to this point?
No. I mean, our goal wasn't to beat Clemson. Our goal was to win every game we play this year and to be in contention to win this league. And so all we've done is move closer to the goal. That's it. Are we going to savor the victory? Yeah. Like I told the team, you know what, at the banquet, we'll talk all about it, but we had 48 hours to have fun, and now we're on to Louisiana Tech. And that's all there is to it. I mean, we've all seen enough football to know that there's a lot of teams out there that don't handle winning very well, and we're not going to be one of them.
To follow up, there was some talk early in the season with some of the unpredictable results that the ACC could be more wide open this year after what you guys did, and you're the highest ranked team now in the ACC in the national poll. Do you look at it as more wide open than ever, or do you even think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to get into rankings. Like, I think it's about where we finish, first of all. That's what matters. We were unranked last week. Now we're ranked, and now that's supposed to mean something. We just need to keep winning. Teams that don't do that are the teams that take losses they shouldn't take. And, we also know when you win a game like Clemson that you're on somebody's schedule a little differently. You're going to get their best. And so we know that, when we play a ranked team, it's different. The guys all of a sudden, oh my God, we're playing this guy and this guy. And so, you earn that respect through winning those games, and you get people's best, and you got to make sure you give them yours.
Thanks, Dave.
James.
Yeah, Dave. Last year, Devin had a big game against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
This year, this performance, though, against Clemson, do you sense an added confidence maybe around him, from not just him, but also the team coming out of that game? And how important is that performance for your offense to kind of show, hey, you can do this against a defense like that?
Well, I think that's a big confidence deal for our offense. We had a really good game plan, and there was a lot of things in that game plan, and they executed very well. They took to heart the coaching points that we understood. They were a really good front, and we had to wear them down on the perimeter, which would allow us then to take it to them in the box. And we had to play well on the perimeter for that to work, and the guys did it. And so they believe in what Coach Beck is talking about. They believe in their quarterback. And their quarterback believes in them, and that's special when you have that. And unfortunately, we had to learn a tough lesson at Mississippi State offensively about being selfless, and I think we're playing that way now. We weren't in that game, and that's made us a better team.
And just to follow up, I think this is the second game where it seems like you guys passed early, and that kind of opened up your running game a little more later. Is that a balance you're referring to when you talk about the balance, maybe the ability to do both of those things?
Yeah, I think, an RPO offense, which we have a lot of RPOs, is based on numbers. It's math. And so we're going to try to put the ball where the numbers aren't, and allows our O-line to be physical, get off the ball and run block people and hit people. And Devin just counts, and it's based on math. And so he's putting the ball in his playmakers' hands and giving them a mathematical advantage to make plays. Is what he's doing. And so if you look at the game, if you really look at the game, we were calling runs with passes on him, and he's taking the ball to where it should go based on the reads Coach Beck's giving him.
Thanks.
Amanda.
Thank you. Coach, you mentioned at the top about the fans rushing the field, or there was a question about that. And you also mentioned how important the fans are to helping you guys win, because their support is just so important. Do you worry about, in this day and age with the COVID Delta variant still going up, and we still are dealing with the pandemic, do you worry about an increased COVID risk from the students rushing the field, for your players, for the fans? Or is it just something that you have to make peace with, given the fact that we're having sporting events again?
Yeah, well, I think it's we're 100% vaccinated here, Amanda. First of all, every player, every staff member. So we're in the best protected place we can be. We're outside. We're not having close contact for very long with anybody. If you look at what happened on the field, we were getting in and out of there pretty fast. I think you should focus more on the fact that NC State won a big game and everybody had a good time and nobody got hurt. And let's just call it a great night instead of trying to make it into something it wasn't.
Thank you.
Gibby.
Yeah, Coach, I'm glad you touched on recruiting early in your press conference. On a situation like this, after a huge win, I know you guys recruit really, really hard, but do you double down as a staff, maybe double down on some recruits that you're really in on, that you hope to get, that maybe you're outside the perimeter on them, and let them know, hey, look at this win. Look what we just did. Is that a situation that you guys do?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're going to strike while the iron's hot, or we're going to be in touch with people, and people are in touch with us too. There's kids calling us. And like I said, there's a lot of recruits there, and there's recruits that maybe dropped off on us early and now they're back in. There's kids, that are going to be very relevant to what we're doing. But, if you didn't like what you saw in that game, this isn't the right place for you. I mean, that's all I can say. I mean, our team really played well. Our stadium was electric. It was a beautiful day. We all know how great a place Raleigh is to live, and then to show that kind of game day environment with it and that type of performance speaks for itself.
Brett,
Dave, Bam came limping off the field a couple of times during the game. Is he okay? And what is his status moving forward this week?
Yeah, he gets cramped. He's fine.
Thanks.
David,
I'm just curious can you talk a little bit more just about the way that Corey played in place of CJ, and just sort of the confidence that gave the defense to see him come out there and play so well?
Yeah, I was really happy for Corey, first of all. He's done everything we've asked him to do since he got here. He's been a tremendous teammate. He learned how to play our end position and our nose position. He said it multiple times, and he didn't care if he started. He just wants to help us win and wants to be a part of something great. And he felt like he had an impact in that game. And we talked during the week about the game plan. He knew the center from a bunch of those camps he'd been to. He was excited about the matchup. He's, has known him a long time, and he went out there and played his best. And that's all I wanted our guys to do, was be the best them for that game, and to do it for the right reasons. And Corey did that. He got off blocks. He was disruptive. He strained. It wasn't just in pass protection that he was winning. He was getting off double teams, and he did a lot of good things in that game. He'll learn a lot from that game too. He played a lot of snaps, and it'll make him better.
Has he earned the starting position going forward?
Yeah, he's our starting nose guard now.
Jonas,
Coach, I had a question in reference to a bigger story or project we're working on at the News and Observer. But with the review process, the replay process with the officials, are you satisfied with them going to the whole process? Do you think it needs to be reevaluated? Or I know that it seems like a lot of times now they're sticking with the decision on the field regardless of the replay. But it worked out for you guys twice this year with the targeting with Pitts and Drake. But just your thoughts on the process, or are you okay with it, or you like to see it reevaluated?
I think we all just want them to make the right decision. Whatever the process is, you got to leave that to them. Like, I'm hoping that they're being held accountable at the office, and that they're looking at each other's work and making sure things are right. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me how it's reviewed. It's that they get it right. There's a lot of people looking at these plays. They have these conversations between, Greensboro and the sideline, I think, and the guy upstairs. So, so far it's been good for us this year. I'm not sure. Has it been bad somewhere else, Jonas? I haven't paid attention to that.
So, and I'm not sure either, but appreciate it.
Yeah.
Matt Carter,
Yeah, sorry, Coach. You and Skip Holtz were hired in the same offseason at your current jobs, and your first game were against each other. What do you remember about that first game that you had with them, and what does that say about you two to be here you are 9 years later meeting again? Without a handful of coaches can say that.
Well, I have a lot of respect for Skip. I've gotten to know him through the Adidas relationship, and obviously he's spent a lot of time in North Carolina, and memories of NC State with his dad, time he had at ECU. So I have great respect for Skip, and have enjoyed getting to know him. As far as the first game against him, it seems like a million years ago to me right now. I remember our quarterback that we signed and transferred in here, Brandon Mitchell, got hurt in that game. And that was not good, but it was a win and don't remember much else about it.
Rob,
Yeah, the current Louisiana Tech team has a lot of transfers. How close to a P5 ACC type simulation game is this? Do you see them as that type of quality of team?
They're a good football team, Rob. You know, I mean, it's hard for me to compare people like that. It's watch them on film. They're scoring 35 points a game. They're fast. They're well coached. They know what they're doing. There's experience on the field. So it's going to be a formidable test. And, you know, for me, it's about the skill. You know, they got a lot of guys in the NFL from Louisiana Tech. They put people out every year. So we got to show up and play really well.
Gary,
Yeah, Dave, who moves up the depth chart on defense to second, from second or third team to take the spot of CJ Clark, who's going to be out for the year? Somebody's got to come up the depth chart. Who would it be?
Corey Durden's the starter, and then Josh Harris, Davin Van will be our guys that rotate in there at nose guard, and Davin can play end and nose.
James,
Yeah, Dave, I'm going to ask you this after the game. Did you ever consider going for two after the first time out in overtime?
No.
Okay, thanks.
do we have anything else for Coach? All right, everybody, Coach, everybody else, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Annabelle.